Hi everyone, welcome to my channel. Today I'll be sharing a really quick and easy art journal layout with you guys. And here I'm going to be using this single page, and this is from a square creative journal by Dylusions. And when I get my art journals in, I usually take a few pages out just so that my book, once it's completed, it's not too bulky. But I do not discard these pages. I definitely keep them all, and I use them as single page layouts when I just have a little time to play with, but I do want to be creative. So here to this page, I'm going to be adding some paint, and these are folk art and apple barrel, and I also use a Martha Stewart in there as well. Now I'll go ahead and list the items I used today down below and the colors as well, so you can check that out if you want to know what colors I used on this page. So I'm going to use the brayer and just apply my paints, and there's no right or wrong way, of course, to do this. I just added it randomly, but I do dry in between each color. Before I add another color, I definitely use my heat tool and dry it up. That way the colors did not mix and was mostly layered on each other. So here you will notice once I start adding this green, I pick up a bit of yellow on accident, and instead of being freaked out about it, I just went with it and kept adding the yellow and the green together at this point. So you can see here there's definitely no mistakes, and I really love how it turned out that way. So once I completed this background, I went ahead and started cleaning up my mess that I made, and you will notice also I added a bit of pearlescent pink, which was accidentally cut out while editing this video, but I did add a bit of pink on the top as well. So here I'm just using up the leftover yellow paint that I had on a paper that I figured I'd use on a future layout, but I ended up using this one instead as my background for today's layout because I really love the brightness of it. The other one was a bit more toned down. I love it, but it was a bit more toned down once I added all those colors. But once I added the yellow to this page, then the green, and now I'm adding a bit of blue, I love the brightness. So I'm going to go with this background. So I'm going to go ahead and in a few moments and trim off the edge and round my corner on that page as well. So I am going to be using this napkin, and this is a Jane Davenport collage paper it's called, but it is a napkin. And I'm going to adhere that to my background. To adhere that, I will be using the Dina Wakley matte gel medium. And you'll see once I add that on the background, it just melts into the background and becomes one with it. You don't really notice any seams where it connect, and with the colors on my background, it goes really nicely with the colors on this napkin and this girl. So up next, I'll go ahead and add some red to this layout just for a pop of color, because what you're seeing mostly right now would be the green, the blues, and the yellows, and I wanted something to pop a bit more. So I'm using this Vicki Boutin crayon and adding it to the edges of my layout and just blending it in with a moist baby wipe. Now with all the colors going on this page, I wanted to make sure my girls stand out a bit more than she did. So I'm using this Faber Castell brush marker, a black one, to go ahead and outline the lines that's already there. I'm just following all the lines and just darkening them up a tiny bit. And here I'm using a Faber Castell brush marker in red to add to the edges as well. Now if you are familiar with my layouts, my art journal layouts, you know I love having my the border of my layouts really dark. I usually use a black brush marker and add that to my edge. Now for this layout, I wanted to see the red. So I decided to go ahead and use my charcoal pencil and outline my layout and just smudge it just a tiny bit. And that way I can see a little darkness, but I still do not lose the red outline I added before. So I wanted a bit of texture to this page, and I decided to go with this shimmery texture paste, and this is from Stampin' Up. And I did consider using that stencil you see sitting there, but then I decided just to go in and add it directly on the page using my spatula. And you can obviously see I'm adding it really lightly in some areas, but I do add it a lot more in some areas so the texture would be there. It's not evenly added onto the page. So now for my title, I really do not have a huge title, but I did add 3 word phrases in from these Tim Holtz Quotations, and it says fearless, make today count, shine brightly, and I'm going to adhere it using some Glossy Accents, and that's what I have in that Fineline tip bottle. I used to have it in the bottle it came in, but the tip would always get clogged up, and this is the solution I found, adding it to this Fineline applicator bottle, and it works perfectly. I have not had a clogged tip since I added it to this bottle. And here I'm just adding in some dots all over the layout using a red Posca paint pen, and like I do on my scrapbook layouts with Nuvo drops, I went a bit crazy with these dots, but I really love how it looked in the end. I love the brightness of this layout. I love all the colors on there, and it was fast and easy. There's not a lot of fuss on here, but there's enough detail to make it pretty and look interesting, and I really love it. So I hope you guys enjoyed this process today. If you did, be sure to let me know in the comments. Also give me a thumbs up before you leave. And if you have any questions at all about my process or the items that I use on this layout today, ask in the comment below and I'll get back to you as soon as I can. So I want to thank you all for watching today, and until my next video, bye.